Hey everybody, the Super Beta 400 here, Douglas Blair Roberts here, and the brown skin here. We come back at you with another webcam, off-camera webcam video commentary review. And this time, this is my review of the entire Dragon Ball Z Ocean Dub series. Each part, Saiyan, Namek, Android, Imperfect, Cell games, Imperfect Cell Saga, Cell games, and the entire Majin Buu saga, Majin Buu saga. Yeah, Majin Buu saga and the Otherworld tournament based saga. So with that being said, let's get started right now. This is my review and rant, so y'all will be using what I'm made of. And let's show this overrated Dragon Ball Z series just who I am and what I am made of. Alright, this is the second and first part of my Dragon Ball Z Ocean Dub series review and rant. And this time we're looking at the Saiyan Saga. The Saiyan Saga. I loved this saga as a kid, and I still like watching it today. However, as an adult, I consider this saga, alongside the Frieza portion of the Namek saga, the Android portion of the much larger Cell saga, the Cell games portion of the much larger Cell saga, and the entire Buu saga to be one of the worst sagas and arcs of Dragon Ball Z of all time. The only thing I liked was the nostalgia. It was DBZ in its prime, and it was the OG Dragon Ball Z team back in the days when it was Goku and Piccolo as a rivalry. Goku and Piccolo as a rivalry. Tia, Yamcha, and Chaozu were still part of the team. Still part of the team, and was still, even though they were weak, were still some of the most powerful fighters in Dragon Ball Z. And it was the days of who else? Oh yeah, it was the days and the days of Vegeta. The Saiyans were evil. That being said, the saga was terrible, especially you get the Vegeta, who this is his introduction, and he is the worst character in this saga. Gohan, Nappa, and Raditz were the most valuable players in MVP of this saga. And Goku, who would later become one of the worst characters, here he's just bland, but he was much cooler here than he was later in the Cell Android, and Buu based sagas. So with that being said, let's get started right now. Let me play the video right now. This was the very first Ocean Dub saga. As you can hear in the background, it has the very iconic Rock the Dragon, which will be for the first 53. Then after this, they will come up with a new one called Dragon Ball Z, in the second portion of, in the third, fourth portions of the Ocean Dub sagas. This saga featured Ian Cortland as Goku, who would later, I think later, be fired due to behavior problems. Ian Cortland as Goku, Scott McNeil as Piccolo, Ryan Drummond as Vegeta, Michael Dobson as Nappa, Terry Creason as Krillin, and my boy Matt Smith as Tien. These are my all-time most favorite and most memorable voice actors from this show. My favorite episodes are episodes 1 through 4, which pretty much is the short-lived Raditz saga. Which features the fights with Raditz, the very awesome and memorable introduction of Nappa and Vegeta, which this version of Ocean Dub had the best version of that scene, where Vegeta and Nappa are introduced in their original colors. The red and black armor for Nappa, and the orange and green armor, with red hair for Vegeta, which makes them both look much more intimidating and cool in comparison to their iconic looks on Earth, especially Vegeta. But I'll get more into that later. Then you have episode 5, Gohan's Metamorphosis, where Gohan transforms into Yozaru and does battle with Piccolo, and Piccolo defeats him by destroying the moon, turning him back to normal. Then I think in this same episode, this is where Yajirobe meets Krillin. This is the episode where Yajirobe meets Krillin. Yeah, this is the episode where Krillin spends the night over Chi-Chi's house, and I think Yajirobe comes to meet him about him, T and Yamcha, and them going to Kami's lookout. Them recruiting Yamcha is shown in the next episode, but Tia, Shinnai, and Chaozu, because of the launch character and the censorship wanting to eliminate alcohol references, Launch is not featured in the early episodes, so the Tia and Chaozu just randomly appear there in this version. Their recruitment is not shown here. Then you got episode 7, which we're watching in the background right now, one of the first filler episodes, and this is Trouble on Arila, where Nappa and Vegeta, in their original colors, before he changed them to their iconic colors on Earth, land on the planet of Arila, and ready for sale. When they get there, they're immediately found by the natives of the planet, and Vegeta and Nappa pretend to surrender. They have some fun with the characters there. Throughout their entire time here, Nappa and Vegeta are like having the best adventure ever, and make several cool jokes. This is one of the coolest episodes of Dragon Ball Z. This filler episode, in my opinion, is actually better than the actual Saiyan Saga itself. Nappa and Vegeta stopping on Arila to wreak havoc and clear it out for sale. Was much better than them taking a pointless 1-year trip to Earth to use the Dragon Balls after Roshinam already used them, which means you can't do anything for a year, but we'll get to that later. And they didn't make their way to the arena. Vegeta kills the reigning champion with a finger blast. Then Nappa and Vegeta Nappa kills the rest with a signature finger maneuver. They release a giant monster called Yeti. Nappa and Vegeta easily evade the attacks, with Nappa grabbing it, ripping his arm off, and destroying it with the Bomber DX energy attack he does. And Vegeta kills the king by hurling a group of rocks at him. Then Vegeta and Nappa are hailed as heroes. Vegeta thinks being a hero is overrated and destroys the planet with a finger blast, and continues their journey to Earth. The whole purpose of this episode was to show you what the Earthlings would be facing on Earth. what we're facing on Earth. That was the whole purpose of this episode. Then you got the next filler episode that I enjoyed, Showdown in the Past, which this episode is Tien, Yamcha's, Chaozu, and Krillin's episode. Goku is still running on Snake Way, and Gohan is training with Piccolo. Tien, Yamcha, and them are fed up with their training, claim they haven't learned anything new and want the same training Goku has when he was there. So Kami and Popo take them to a mysterious room where they go into the where they go to Planet Vegeta 100 years in the past and battle two Saiyans. I think Shorty and Scarface. I think that's their names. Shorty and Scarface. And they get the living DSD out of it, and each of them get killed with only Tia and Yamcha being left, and then both of them get killed when it's all said up. When it's all said up, it turns out it was all a dream, and it turns out they never left the room. The room allowed them to produce dream-like bodies to go into the distant past. Kami and Popo then warns them that the Saiyans coming to Earth will be much stronger, but the Z fighters decide to confront the challenge, not back down, and stick together. And that is that episode. Then you have the next episode, Legend of the Saiyans, which isn't any good, but you get a cool backstory on the Saiyans, which introduces the Tuffles for the first time, who will become a huge plot point in the Dragon Ball GT saga and Baby saga, one of my all-time favorite sagas as an adult. And you get a cool cameo training sequence from Tien, Yamcha, Yajirobe, and Krillin sparring. Then episode 18, the Power of Napa, the quote-unquote Power of Napa, where Napa, after Krillin destroys the remaining Cybermen, Napa enters the fight, and powers up and smashes Tia's arm. This in the next episode, Tia goes all out. It's Tia's last starring episode up until he doesn't appear again, up until Stay Away from Frieza. Then you got the next episode. The next episode, Vegeta decides to wait for Goku, who they think is Kakarot, and because they say Goku is way stronger now. So they wait 3 hours. Nappa goes off to destroy the entire military fleet, including tearing through the ship, like you see in the opening Ocean Dub intro, and then comes back and removes his armor. Then the next episode, Time's Up, where he comes back and removes his armor, and Piccolo comes in with a new plan to grab his tail, but it doesn't work, and Nappa knocks him out, leaving Krillin and Gohan to fight Nappa alone. And Krillin unveils his newest and coolest move in the struggle. There's one of Krillin's last cool and badass moments where he nearly killed Nappa. It would have been at Nappa had Vegeta not told Nappa to dodge the freaking disc. Then the next episode, the return of Son Goku, where we have the death of Piccolo, who sacrificed himself to save Gohan, and we have the return of Goku, who immediately overwhelms Nappa. It continues in the next episode. Goku strikes back. My next favorite, where Goku continues his fight with Nappa, and Nappa finally calms down and begins fighting evenly with Goku. Then Vegeta calls it off because it'll take forever with Nappa, and Vegeta decides to step in. Nappa decides to take the humiliation out on Gohan and Krillin, and Goku smashes and breaks his back, and Vegeta kills him for his failure, incompetence, and uselessness. And then Goku begins his fight with Vegeta. Then we're gonna skip all the way to episode 24. Stop Vegeta now. Where Yajirobe cuts off Vegeta's tail, turning it back to normal, and Vegeta does battle with Gohan, knocks out Krillin, and does battle with Gohan. I hate Goku versus Vegeta. I always like Gohan versus Vegeta and Goku versus Nappa earlier. I hate the Goku versus Vegeta fights because Goku, even going over a double, still couldn't put Vegeta down for the count, or at least cripple him break his leg, arm, or back when he wouldn't, and neck when he won't be a threat anymore. Then you got Vegeta. Then you got Vegeta who couldn't take down a first class Saiyan and had to use a giant monkey. Even with that power, still lost and lost his tail, and then later lost the entire fight and was left at the mercy of Krillin. So he went there and didn't accomplish really anything other than killing a buttload of people, losing Nappa, a big Cyberman, and his tail in the process. Like the most failed villain ever. We get to the next episode, which has the Gohan going all through and squishing Vegeta and Vegeta leaving, but Goku convinces Krillin to spare Vegeta because he wants to fight him again. And because in this version, Vegeta deserves the chance to change his ways like everyone else did. Then we get the next episode was discussed going to Namek, setting up the Namek-based sagas. These were all-time favorite episodes. Like I said, Gohan, Nappa, and Raditz were the MVPs. Raditz was one of the coolest villains ever, and this features the only team-up battle, the epic team-up of Goku versus Piccolo. Piccolo. Then you have Gohan transforming into Rosario and facing Piccolo. Then the very memorable introduction of Nappa and Vegeta, which this version had the best version of it. Then you had I mentioned the 2 filler episodes, and then you had Nappa easily taking on the Z Fighters, and the Z Fighters dying one by one. And you have Goku. Nappa was a monster. The Z Fighters couldn't touch him, and you have Goku just dancing all over him, humiliating him. This is one of the last cool, badass Goku moments, along with the Jason Birder and Ginyu fights on Namek. Highly entertaining saga, but one of the worst sagas of all time. Good for nostalgia and still exciting to watch, but one of the worst sagas of all time. Namek Saga is next, a good saga. Hey everyone, it's time for the second part of my Dragon Ball Z Ocean Dub review series. This time, review and rant series. This time, we're looking at the Namek Saga. Which is actually one of the best sagas. This saga is actually pretty good. The only terrible and worst character is the character of Frieza, what I'm going to get to in a minute. And this saga was good. And even as a kid, I've always preferred this saga over the much later Frieza saga. When we get to the Frieza portion of the saga, the Frieza fights, that is when it goes to shit, and that is top of the line retardation, plot hole, inconsistency, but the Namek portion with the fights with Kui, Midoriya, Zarbon, and later the Ginyu Force were my all-time favorites, and even as a kid I enjoyed these fights more so than the Frieza fights later. So with that being said, let me start the video right now. We're watching episode 33, Face Off, where Vegeta faces off with Kui, and Frieza, Zarbon, Midoriya, and the rest of the Frieza Force are introduced for the first time. This was one of the best episodes of the Namek Saga. One of the first and best episodes of the Namek Saga. This saga was way better than the Saiyan Saga. This saga was way better than Nappa and Vegeta invading Earth and arriving on Earth after Roshi in the game just used the Dragon Balls to wish back Goku, which means Nappa and Vegeta, they can't do anything for a year. So even Vegeta would have won and killed all the Z Fighters and got the information that they wanted from the Dragon Balls. They can't do anything. They can't look forward and do anything for 1 year. Talk about waste of time. Then we get to this saga, Vegeta's plan, his immortality plan is even more stupid. is even more stupid. Is even more stupid because his immortality plan with his week 18, later 24, and later 33,000, he was going to confront Frieza immortality. He was going to confront Frieza and expect to win. Even Zarbon, the Japanese version, told him how dumb this was, how stupid this was, and we all know what happened. We all know what happened later, so I'll wait till later to talk about that. But actually, yeah, I always like this saga. The whole scramble and race to find the Dragon Balls. You have the Frieza Force, Vegeta versus Gohan, Krillin, and Bulma. It's a race against time to find the 7 Dragon Balls. The seven Dragon Balls. 7 Dragon Balls. The first several episodes deals with Vegeta's rivalries with Frieza Force members, Kui, Dodoria, where he actually learns the secrets, of his race, and in my opinion, what he should have already known, that Frieza destroyed planet Vegeta and not a giant asteroid. I've always thought as an adult, I always thought the asteroid was stupid. The asteroid storyline was stupid. The Saiyans can blow up with their scouters and blow up an asteroid. So, can blow up an asteroid. And it takes a ray gun or a beam to do what Frieza did to Vegeta. Frieza reduced Vegeta to nothing. An asteroid can't do that. You will still see bodies and some debris, something left. Something left. An asteroid can't do that. Only a beam or a gun, a giant ray gun, a giant Death Star like ray gun can do what Frieza did to planet Vegeta. So he learns there, he kills the Midoriya. Then in one of the series' most memorable and probably best fights, not the best fight, but one of their best fights, Vegeta Vegeta's duology with Zarbon. With Zarbon becoming the first person to beat Vegeta one-on-one in a fight in the series. And I like the henchmen better because Zarbon and the Ginyu Force is my favorite henchmen from this arc. These guys were much more intelligent and actually got stuff done, unlike Vegeta and unlike Frieza especially. You have Frieza first. First he wants Vegeta off his back. Instead of getting the scouter and going to the location where Vegeta and Krillin are, he has his weak henchmen fight Vegeta, and then he gets mad when they fail. Gets mad when they fail. This comes back later. Gets mad when they fail. When Zarbon encounters Vegeta, he defeats Vegeta. Gets Vegeta off your back, and Frieza, being lazy and stupid as you know what, has Zarbon goes back on his word, changes his mind, has Zarbon go back, bring Vegeta back, heal him up, leave Apul guarding him. Vegeta kills Apul and makes off with Frieza's 7 Dragon Balls, and Frieza has the audacity to blame Zarbon. I'm sick of this classic supervillain blaming and killing their henchmen for failure, for jobs they could have done themselves. With no errors, with no failure. They could have done themselves with no errors or failures. I'm really getting sick of villains like that. Then Frieza sends Zarbon basically to his death, but Zarbon beat Vegeta. Use your spaceship to take a digital outlet of a planet and find the Dragon Ball yourself. You try to tell me you can't move your butt and find the Dragon Ball. Find the Dragon Ball itself. Instead, no, you heal up Vegeta. And bring them back to the You heal him up and bring them back to the quote unquote spaceship. And then then later it's revealed when Frieza finally gets all 7 Dragon Balls to Ginyu Force. They accomplished their mission. They defeat Vegeta, Krillin, and Gohan, and had Goku not arrived there, they probably would have killed him. They defeat them, and they got all 7 Ginyu got all 7 Dragon Balls to Frieza. Here, Frieza, when he gets all 7 Dragon Balls together, nothing happens. Nothing happens. The Namecs don't wake up. Nothing happens. Corona the Dragon doesn't come out. It is revealed, but via flashback, and even though the Namekian Elder told Frieza, you will never unlock the Dragon Ball's power. You will never unlock the Dragon Ball's power. No matter if you get all 7 together, you Outworlders will never unlock their power. Yet Frieza foolishly kills him anyway, nearly losing the chance, nearly losing his wish, because only three of them are left alive. Then lets Nail distract him long enough, and as he puts it, lets a Namekian boy, Nail, Krillin a midget, Gohan a half-breed Saiyan, and Vegeta a burnt out Saiyan. He lets each of them outwit and cheat him out of immortality. Talk about lame. When he could have ended this whole saga in one or a couple of episodes by getting the Scouter, going to Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta's location, beating them up, killing each of them, and finding the Dragon Balls on their own, and finding the Dragon Balls on your own. Then the Namekian told you that you would unlock the power, instead of keeping him and torturing him until he gave you the password. Now you brutally murder him. Vegeta did this too, and dumbass nearly lost his wish. And Vegeta's dumbassery later in the Funimation portion, where he foolishly chose to take a nap. Even though Krillin and Gohan throughout this saga have made it clear that they don't trust Vegeta, and Vegeta actually believed that Gohan and Krillin were gonna wake him up. We're gonna freaking wake him up. They're gonna wake him up so he can get immortality and he can beat Frieza. But guess what? When Frieza's done, now you'll have Vegeta to deal with. You'll be a problem with them. Like I said, man, the dumbest characters and the dumbest villains ever. You know, I did like Vegeta in the Namek portion, in the Namek and Ginyu portion. Vegeta feuding with Zarbon and the Ginyu Force and the Frieza Force is awesome. And as soon as all these kids in Frieza should have died and left the series, Vegeta should have died and left the series. Vegeta, he would go to great decline after this saga. First, the Frieza saga. Every dumb thing you get in the Frieza saga. Then the Cell android, and even worse, the Majin Buu. And now he's even worse in Super. He's a bland character. He's a bland anti-hero of Goku who gets his butt kicked all the time. And even at least here, he has a personality and had the awesomeness of Brian Drummond as his voice. But yeah, this is also the last time Krillin would be badass. This is the last time Krillin would be badass and be useful. This is also the last. This is actually, and this is not the last time, but this is also, like I said, Gohan's development. His story and development is one of the only actually good things about Dragon Ball Z is the Gohan character. What else about this saga? So yeah, this saga was way better than its quote-unquote Saiyan Saga. Which that is only good for nostalgia. This has nostalgia and everything else. If only the other sagas after this weren't so damn terrible. But yeah, only other stuff I hate. I hate how each of the Ginyu Force would introduce as threats, only to be all of them to be straight up Yamcha. For all of them to be straight up Yamcha and Chaozu later by Vegeta, who was the very character afraid of them in the first place. But yeah. The other most annoying character was Bulma. She had the worst episode. I like every episode. I like every I like every episode except for her episode. She has the worst. She has the worst episode where her filler episode where she gets kidnapped, where she gets quote unquote kidnapped by the Frieza Force members and they plan to take her back to Frieza, and she fools them by pretending a giant egg is a Dragon Ball, and I think the crab grabs them and eats them. Yeah, that was the worst episode of the series. Thank God that was filler. But two of the other filler arcs I enjoyed were the Invisible Spaceship, where Gohan, Krillin, and Bulma enter some kind of weird portal dimension. It enters some kind of weird portal dimension and end up on some weird spaceship, which has survivors and refugees led by, I think his name is Zeshin of the Frieza Force, where we get an introduction of Kui, where they make it actually seem like Kui. This dub makes it seem like Kui. Kui is Frieza himself. Then the next arc. Then the next episode where they meet Radiant Zakro, two pink purple humanoid alien creatures posing as Namekians who read their minds and set up their Dragon Ball quest in attempt to steal their spaceship. These were two good filler episodes. So I enjoyed every episode except for Bulma's. With episodes 33, 36 collision course where Vegeta kills the Namekians and Goku gets stranded in space. The very next episode, stay away from Frieza. Zarbon transformed. The eldest Namek. Vegeta revived. Vegeta versus Zarbon 2. Immortality denied, and arrival of the Ginyu Force, the fights with Gordo, and the final fights with Raccoon, and the final one, Enter Goku, and the one after that, Goku Super Saiyan, where the Super Saiyan is introduced for the very first time in Vegeta's flashback. So yeah, best saga ever. If only the first, the Saiyan, and the ones after this weren't so damn terrible, but still like Dragon Ball today. Well, that was this saga. The Android saga is next. Now time for my review and rant on one of the worst sagas of all time, and that is the Android portion of the much larger Android and Cell sagas. This saga right here was atrocious. The only thing I like about this saga was it featured the OG Dragon Ball Z team, of Goku, Gohan, Piccolo, Tien, Krillin, Yamcha, excluding Chaozu, with Vegeta and Trunks added, all fighting the androids, all doing something together as a team. However, the storyline for Dragon Ball in this saga was even worse than it normally is with Dragon Ball. The episode I'm watching in the background is the episode Goku's Assassin, where Dr. Gero gets to the cave before the Z Fighters and unleashes the androids. They kill him, and then Vegeta and the rest confront the androids, and in the next episode they begin fighting. This like I said, this saga right here, as far as favorite episodes, I like them all, despite how terrible this is. Because like I said, it's the Z Fighters doing something. I like them all. Goku Vegeta's fight with Android 19. The Z Fighters chasing androids. Piccolo's fight with Android 20. Dr. Gero, and the entire Z Fighters, the entire Z Warriors versus Android. Vegeta, the entire Z Warriors versus Android 18 and 17. However, this saga was atrocious, the worst ever. It started with the short-lived Trunks saga, where Trunks killed Frieza, where Trunks killed Frieza and told Goku, who would later tell the Z fighters about the androids, about the quote unquote androids, about the quote unquote androids. Anyway, the androids come down. Anyway, the androids come down. He told him about the quote unquote androids, man. And the androids come down. What do the androids do? Oh yeah, that in 3 years the androids will wipe out all of the Z fighters, excluding Gohan. And 13 years later they will get Gohan too. What else about this terrible fight right here? And despite all that, despite hearing your fate, and despite that several of the characters, Piccolo, T, and Yamcha and Krillin just got wished back to life. They're in a hurry to enter another fight. They're in a hurry to enter another battle. Another problem I have, they were willing to trust Vegeta. They were willing to trust and fight with Vegeta after what Vegeta did to them in the previous saga. There should have been more fights between them and Vegeta, more fights and more civil war and more dissension in the team and beating those guys, since Goku technically led them to their deaths in the previous arc. Kind of led them to their deaths. They should not be willing to take orders from Goku. That would be series and world building, something completely foreign to Toriyama's Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, this is the last season. This saga's the last season to feature Peter Kalamas as Goku. Starting with the Cell Saga base season, and the end of this saga, Goku would be replaced with the late Kirby Morrow. So yeah, that's what I feel. But other than that, every other actor returns. And one thing I'm going to talk about here. Everyone always said that the Ocean Belt was good for the first 53 episodes, but after that, Funimation should have took over. And I say once again, I've said it once, I'll say it again. No, the Ocean Belt, they should have never left. They should have stayed for the entire series. They were the best thing about this franchise, about this overrated franchise. And they should have stayed. The actors from the previous Ocean Belt series, they grew up with the characters they're portraying. Vegeta is like 35 here, and Brian Dronin, who is 30 and who was 30 in real life at this time, sounds 30 years old. He still sounds 30 years old despite being 50 years old now. And then you got Peter Kalamas, who sounds older. Terry Clayson sounds older. My boy Matt Smith sounds older. And Scott McNeil sounds older. And now he sounds older. Sounds like a more talented version of Sabat. A more talented version of Christopher Sabat's voice. The infamous and atrocious burnt toast line from the Funimation version. That is here in this dub too. This is the exact same script, for the most part, the exact same script as the Funimation version, but because the Ocean Dub actors are professionals and comedians and good comic actors, when Krillin did that android is toast, and then Scott McNeil came in, Piccolo came in, yeah, burnt toast. Scott McNeil managed to own it and make that line cool and badass. So yeah, in the Funimation dub, it was cringeworthy. It was cringeworthy and cheesy. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, everyone sounds like an older version of them. So Bulma's actor in this version is completely different. Yeah, I keep forgetting what you call it. So yeah.
Did you see that? He squished him like a bug.
So yeah, the Ocean Dub actor should have stayed for the series. And yeah, the first season, my favorite character in this saga would probably have to be Yamcha. Yamcha was the MVP of characters. Yamcha was the MVP of characters in this saga. Yamcha was the MVP of characters in this saga. He's the only one, after getting nearly killed by Android 20 and 19. he recognized how useless he was and decided to carry Goku off the battlefield, whereas everyone else challenged the androids and got their asses kicked. Nothing useful or good was done here. Goku failed against Android 19, who he should have been able to beat even with the virus. I don't see how androids are stronger than Super Saiyans and people with godlike power. The androids were able to batter a Super Saiyan, were able to batter a Super Saiyan round when they should not have been in the same league as Yamcha. Every Z fighter is God level, not Super Saiyan God level, but God level. They train with Kami and King Kai. It was established in the previous arc. Even if you have their data, you need their training. You need their training. You need the gravity. You need the gravity training, which you don't have and can't replicate. You need the gravity training they had from Kami and the gravity and God training they had from Kami and King Kai. So nothing on Earth should be what's stated. Yes, robots from Earth were somewhere to kill off the Z fighters. That's what Toriyama was going to go with until the next arc where the guy advised him to create Cell. That's what dumbass Toriyama was going to go with. Goku fails against Android 19. Then Vegeta fights Android 19. He defeats him, but he lets Android 19 steal some energy from him, which somehow makes it possible for Dr. Gero to beat him. Then he lets Dr. Gero get away, who ends up stealing more energy, making himself more powerful, and later unleashing three more powerful androids who proceeded to kick the living daylights out of you. These androids were much stronger, and had it been like Trunks' ravaged future, we would have had another ravaged future on our hands. The androids would have eventually found Yamcha, killed Yamcha, then killed Goku, Gohan, and everyone else, and we would have another terrible dystopian ravaged future on our hands, all thanks to the stupidity of Goku, Vegeta, and the Z Fighters, which this was the biggest plot hole. Trunks is coming from the future to warn you about the androids. If he's coming here from the future, that means he failed against the androids, and he's a Super Saiyan. So that means it will take a greater power higher than a Super Saiyan. So getting to the next level of Super Saiyan, which they did in the Imperfect Cell Saga, should have been done in this saga, the Android Saga. So the worst saga of all time. It's only good because of nostalgia. It was the OG Dragon Ball team. I would still like Dragon Ball Z today. The original Dragon Ball Z, Toriyama's Dragon Ball Z, if they would have kept this team and these group of characters. More storylines featuring these teams. The storyline was terrible, but at least it was the entire Z Warriors doing something.
Do you have nothing to say?
Hello? Anybody home in there? I guess you're just the strongest.
Yeah. This saga also debuted.
Well, let's go.
They debuted the reused Monster Rancher and Mega Man cartoon music for the various scenes, which, like I said, I love this low budget reused Monster Rancher music and Mega Man music over the big budget Japanese score, which is pretty cool. The Japanese score and the Bruce Faulkner version and every other version of Dragon Ball Z. When it comes to acting and sound effects, music and soundtrack, the Ocean dub is unmatched, man. The other ones are better when it comes to scripts, but the Ocean dub is unmatched when it comes to acting, soundtrack, and music. They are and truly were the best. That was
Shouldn't we follow them?
That was the Android Saga. Imperfect Cell Saga's next.
They've gone after.
Hey everybody, it's now time for my review of the Imperfect Cell Saga and small rant. This will be more review because this is pretty much the only good saga of the entire Cell and Android sagas. This half, the second half. Yes, the first half was terrible where you try to convince me that Dr. Gero, a geezer, Android 20, and Android 19, a fat clownish looking man, that's the threat. That's going to kill off and end the Z Fighters for good. kill off and end the Z Fighters for good. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. His editor, Toriyama's editor, I keep forgetting his name, but he told him, no, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's a fat man and a geezer. How is that a threat to the Z Fighters? So then his editor convinced him to change it. Then he tried to give you Android 17 and 18. 17 and 18, a guy with a scarf and a girl with go-go boots on. That's a threat. That's better, but that's still, how is that a threat to the Z Fighters? How is that a threat to the Z Fighters? So then, in this arc, they had the androids from the previous arc, 16, 17, and 18, pretty much fight as protagonists in this arc against a much more powerful threat in Cell. And the guy convinced him to add Cell, and oh looky, the highest rated saga in Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z was at its highest and peak during this arc. And to this day, Cell, to this day, he's like the best character making this arc. He was the ultimate villain this series needed. A multi-life form who started as a tiny organism and grew to the imperfect form and absorbed the androids to achieve his ultimate power, his ultimate power. He goes through slight personality changes through each transformation. This was the best character and the coolest character you would ever create. The coolest character you had ever created in Dragon Ball Z. And the series' best villain, because this villain actually accomplished what he set out to do. Piccolo, he was the best of the three, but Piccolo, Vegeta, Frieza, and Frieza were straight up jokes. Jokes. Piccolo was the best of the three because he actually did take over the world, but had his reign of terror ended by a young boy, and not only a young boy, but a cripple in Goku. Then you had Vegeta, just the dumbest motherfucker ever, come to Earth 1 year later to use the Dragon Balls. They come to Earth 1 year later to use the Dragon Balls after Roshi and them just used them to bring back Goku. They arrive on the day Roshi and them use them to bring back Goku, which means you can't use the Dragon Balls for 1 year. You can't use them for 1 year, so even if they would have got the information they needed, they can't do anything for a year. The whole saga was just an excuse to go to Namek and do the same thing. Then when you get to the Namek saga, you later learn that the immortality wish is to attack and kill Frieza. Vegeta with his lame 18, 24, 33,000 power level thought with immortality alone, that was going to beat Frieza. For that plan to work, even Zarbon called him out on this. For that plan to work, you have to be close to Frieza in power. Then later, after just eating a Sitsu bean and fighting Raccoon, Jace, and fighting Raccoon, Jace, and Ginyu twice, that pushed him over the edge and gave him the power level around rivaling Frieza, because he was able to stop a punch from Frieza and hold him for several minutes, and even cause his scouter to break. Then he makes things worse for everyone by convincing Frieza to transform, pushing Frieza's power level over 1 million, making him no match for Frieza. Then the third plot hole, he comes up with the brilliant idea to have Krillin severely injure him, and have Dende healed, and that's going to give him amazing powers. That gives him a huge power boost, stronger than Frieza's first 3 forms, and he still gets thrashed by the 4th form. So like I said, the worst villains ever. Than Frieza, who was what Vegeta wanted to become, was a stupid, dumb, incompetent emperor who let, as he put it, a burnt out Saiyan, a midget, and a brat, half-breed, and a Namekian boy, all outwit and trick him, cheat him out of his wish for immortality. He also let Nail outsmart him. Throughout the entire time he was pounding on Nail, he did not notice that Nail was obviously stalling for something. Nail, even at half of your power, Nail is still no match for you. But it took Frieza never figured it out until Nail told him. Complete and utter complete and utter dumbass. Then the Dragon Ball wishes. The flashback revealed that the Namekian elder he killed said, even you get all 7, you outworlders will never unlock its power. He blatantly told you, and Frieza foolishly killed him anyway, nearly losing the chance for his wish. Losing the chance for his wish. Yeah, so basically, Frieza, the worst villain ever. Then he comes back, instead of killing Goku and Piccolo first and taking your sweet time with Gohan and Krillin, now he kills Krillin first and he creates the one thing that can stop him, a Super Saiyan. Then later, after the battle with Goku is over, Goku's even at 100% of his power, he is still no match for Goku. Goku reveals he took his best, and Frieza's best still wasn't good enough, and Frieza's no longer a challenge to him anymore. Then he comes back to then he gets cut by his own attack. Then he comes to Earth. And gets cut up like hot butter by an unknown Super Saiyan with a sword. An unknown Super Saiyan with the quote unquote sword. Then somehow they bring him back several years later. We're supposed to take him seriously. So like I said, the worst villains ever. Cell was the first good villain. Good villain this series had. So Cell my favorite episode, of course, is the episode we're about to watch in the background right now, and that's the episode Sacrifice, which is a continuation of Tien using his tri-beam cannon to hold Cell in place long enough, giving the androids time to escape. This was my #1 all-time favorite fight. This was the gutsiest performance in Dragon Ball. It's one reason I like the Tien character. Tien is kind of a weak, bland character, but he has an awesome ocean dub and Japanese voice actors, his honor and bravery. He's the only character I actually give the term hero. Hero is one reason I like the Tien Shinhan character, despite how weak and useless he is, and how just bland and boring his backstory is, in my opinion, is the Tien Shinhan. Is the Tien Shinhan character. And this moment right here, as awesome as this moment was, it doesn't save the series. Because in the following episodes, Vegeta foolishly let Cell absorb Android 18, and Krillin's presence there jeopardizes the entire mission. Instead of shutting down the androids with the controller, he puts holes before bros, pleasure and pussy before his duty, and squishes the controller. Another plot hole is, how did Bulma make a controller capable of shutting down the androids? You had never encountered either of them before this. You encountered Dr. Gero, a weak absorption model, and you just saw him. You didn't fight him or get to work on him or anything. You didn't come into really any contact with him other than him blowing up your ship. So how did you come up with a device to capable of shutting down the androids?
How long can Tien keep this up? He's strong, but Cell is stronger.
Then Android 18 foolishly got herself absorbed, but at least this fight was better than the Blue Saga fight. She went down swinging in this saga, whereas the Blue Saga, she ran away and still got hit with a chocolate blast. This is my #1 favorite episode, followed by the Vegeta Trunks, Krillin and 16 versus Imperfect versus semi-perfect, and later Perfect Cell. These are my all-time favorite episodes. And during this time, you had Gohan and Goku, and I have about a time to preparing for Cell. You have development where he finally becomes a Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan, sick of being weak, sick of his friends dying and it being his fault, finally unlocks the Super Saiyan power. Unlocks the Super Saiyan power. Then you got
I'm worried about Tien.
then since Gohan and Goku are in the hyperbolic time chamber, Android 16, 17, and 18. Android 16, 17, 18, and Tien, Shinhan, and Piccolo are technically the main characters of this arc until 17 is absorbed. Until Android 17 is absorbed and Vegeta hits the battle scene. So yeah.
I'm sorry, Chaozu. Tien is on his own now. We can't take him though we
This
want
saga
to.
also featured the legendary fight between 17 and Piccolo, which was pretty cool, but I don't think it's the best fight ever. But it was one of the last times Piccolo was badass and actually did anything in the series. After this and after he got killed with Cell, he would be, for the most part, combat-wise, useless the entire series, man. And would get his butt kicked by every single villain.
I guess it's not over yet. I hope Tien can hold on.
He's alone.
So
Chaozu, let's go.
yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
This season, I think this is the season, this is the season that debuted, that changed Goku's actor. Peter Kalamis will leave the show for a stand-up comedy career, and he would then be replaced with the late Kirby Morrow, who recently passed away last year, November 2020 of substance abuse, man. You don't know how saddened I was to hear about his passing. This part right is a short tribute to Kirby Morrow, man. This guy was one of the coolest Ocean dub actors of all time. It made my childhood with voicing characters like Cyclops from X-Men Evolution, Goku from the third version of Goku, and even Moroku from Inuyasha. And Kirby Morrow is the greatest and coolest Goku. He is so great, he is so cool. He is actually too cool for the role of Goku. He is too cool, too awesome sounding to be Goku. The first two were better when it came to capturing Goku's personality. Kirby Morrow would have made a better adult Goten and an adult Gohan than even adult Trunks than Goku, than quote unquote Goku. So he was so awesome as Goku. He was way too good to be Goku. And sad to hear that he's not here. And I get sad every time I go back and watch X-Men Evolution, BBC Ocean Dub, and Inuyasha, and notice he's no longer with us, man. But man, yeah, 2020 was such a terrible year, man. It was such a terrible year. So yeah. Then you have everyone else returns. Scott McNeil is still Piccolo. Brian Drummond is still Vegeta. Terry Clinton is still Krillin, and my boy Matt Smith is still Tien Shinhan. So this was my review of the Imperfect Cell saga, the only good saga of the much larger Android Cell sagas. Next is the Cell games.
All because of that insolent.
Now it's time for my review and rant on the Ocean of Cell games saga, the second worst saga of the entire Cell games, of the entire Cell saga. The Cell games portions, the Cell game was entertaining. It was way better than the Buu saga, but just like the Buu saga, it was terrible. Gohan, Cell himself, Tien, Yamcha, Android 16 made this saga tolerable. And this saga, one good thing was it was the last time all of the Z fighters, well excluding Chaozu, all of the Z fighters for the most part did something. They all participated in the Cell game, in the battle against the Cell Juniors, and of course in the anime version, they all participated in the huge Kamehameha Wave beam struggle at the end, which I'm going to get to both of these great moments. But this saga, just like just like every other saga, was terrible. Because Hercule, Goku, and Vegeta killed this saga with their bullshit, and they killed anything that was good about this saga. This saga was so bad. I always skip the first part, which is Hercule and his students and Goku fighting Cell. So damn boring and cringeworthy. You got Hercule and his students, which was cringeworthy enough. Then you got the fight that everyone's been building up to. That was, of course, Goku and Cell, and the manga portion of this fight was pretty cool, but the anime portion was terrible, with lots of lame CGI hyper fighting in 2D animated form, fighting in a loop for several hours. Then after all of that garbage CGI action, Cell starts to get the upper hand, and it's just punishing Goku, and then Goku gives up. Not only do I hate Goku for giving up like a little bitch, but before that, he was getting his butt kicked. If I mock Vegeta and Trunks, failure against Cell, I gotta mock Goku, and Goku was the worst. He found a much better Super Saiyan form in full power Super Saiyan. He discovered the weakness to the ascended and ultra Super Saiyan forms. But guess what? It didn't mean a damn thing, because you couldn't beat Cell either. Full power Super Saiyan was no match for Cell either. Then he had his own son. Fight Cell, and that's the episode you're listening to in the background. I immediately skip. Whenever I watch this saga, I immediately skip to Faith in a Boy, Gohan's fight against Cell. That was much more dramatic, way more entertaining, much better choreographed. And then, one of my all-time second and third favorite fights in the series was the Gohan and Cell fight. This fight was so much better. But going back to what I was saying, I hate Goku for not only quitting, but having Gohan fight Cell without telling him and the other Z fighters. So when people say Goku is not an asshole, watch this saga and watch the new saga. And look at his actions in the saga. He had his own son fight Cell. Then he powered up Cell. We said, something said, he wanted Gohan to have a fair fight. Dumbass, you're not fighting anymore. Gohan is. So it's Gohan's decision how he faces Cell. Then, not only is Goku a bad father, he's an asshole and a terrible friend too, and a terrible and the worst teammate in the world. Because it was because of Goku that led to the most brutal. But it led to Android 16's death. Then it led to the brutal ass kicking they all received from the Cell Juniors because he quit. Had Android 16 not sacrificed himself, the Cell Juniors would have killed the Z fighters, and Trunks would have had another ravage and destroyed future on his hand, which actually I thought was gonna be the plot when I saw this as a child, with Cell killing everyone except for Gohan and Trunks, showing that you can't escape that cruel fate. And looking back, when I look at what happened after this saga, I kind of wish that actually would have happened. When I look at what happened after this saga, because every character got worse and worse after this saga right here. Which is the next reason this Cell Games saga sucks. Everything that was accomplished in this saga was ruined in the next sagas. Nothing was gained. You watch and analyze and look at the victory and battle in this saga. Each of these characters, particularly Gohan, Goku, and Vegeta, and Krillin, and Piccolo, each made the same mistakes several years later with Majin Buu. So the Majin Buu saga in Super and Resurrection F completely undoes this awesome saga right here and makes it the same garbage saga as those two were. It is just as garbage as Buu saga. The only difference between this had a better climax, and a better team of fighters and cast of characters. We had the OG Dragon Ball team of Goku, Gohan, Piccolo, Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, Chaozu, even though he wasn't part of this team with Trunks and Vegeta added. Then you had the androids, Android 16, 17, and 18, and the greatest character, the MVP of the series, Perfect Cell, Super Perfect Cell himself, Cell Gohan, Tien, Yamcha, Future Trunks, and the androids, particularly 16, mostly 16, were the MVPs, the most valuable players of this saga. It made this saga tolerable, watchable, and at the time, the highest rated and best saga in the world. However, only the second half, I mentioned, the previous one, the Imperfect Cell saga, only that one was good. Then you have the stupid beam struggle at the end. I used to love this as a child. I hate this as an adult. You have Vegeta, after Cell kills Trunks, you got Vegeta flying off into a blind rage and firing multiple Q blasts at Cell. Vegeta couldn't beat regular Perfect Cell. What did you think his blast is gonna have any effect on Super Perfect Cell? And he continuously does that. The whole throw multiple Q blasts at someone. That never works in the series, and he gets his butt injured by Cell and nearly killed, forcing Gohan to step in and save his clumsy butt, sacrificing his arm in the process, the use of his arm in the process, and it had Goku not motivated him to keep Gohan to continue fighting. Everyone would have died right there, and everyone has to say, "Oh, this was development. Oh, Vegeta helped Gohan beat Cell. Gohan could have beat Cell if he had both of his arms, and you just cheated us out of the ultimate battle between Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and Perfect Cell. I want to see the cool battle first before the stupid, lame, incredibly cliche beam struggle at the end. End. Atrocious, man. Used to like this moment as a child. As an adult, I hate this moment. I still like the episodes. All of my favorite episodes are the Gohan versus Cell and the Cell Juniors and the Beam Struggle episodes. Those are my all-time favorite sagas. Those are my all-time favorite episodes and moments from this saga. The worst are the Goku, Hercule, and his students versus Cell. Those are the worst. And Hercule, him and his students made this saga insufferable. I had to fast forward. Sometimes I have to fast forward when watching. So yes, for the Ocean Dub cast, all the ones who were in the Android and Imperfect Cell sagas return for this saga, and the very cool Super Saiyan 2 moment. This is actually the only time I like each dub when it comes to Gohan Super Saiyan 2. Each version had their own what's his name. You have that very cool Super Bruce Faulkner theme, Gohan song from that Super Saiyan song from the Funimation version. The Japanese version had that dramatic Japanese soft pop music. I keep forgetting what it's called. And this version, the Ocean Dub, had the very cool Mega Man Army Awakening music, and another track I can't remember. So each version has something cool. Each dub managed to make the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan transformation awesome. This was my review and rant on the Perfect Cell saga. Boo Saga is coming next. Can't believe I almost forgot this saga. My favorite saga and the best saga of the Toriyama era of Dragon Ball Z. This is really the Toei era because this is really a filler arc, and that is the Otherworld Tournament saga. This was recorded last. This will be added to my large Ocean Dub review series project. But yeah, this is the short-lived Otherworld Tournament saga, which in my opinion not only the best tournament, but it's the best saga. This filler saga right here was better than the entire Majin Buu arc combined. It sucks that none of these warriors, Pikkon, Oribu, and the Warriors of the Dead, none of these guys were ever featured in the Dragon Ball Z again or the Buu Saga, they would have been they would have made a way better tournament of power members than the members we got, especially Waste of Space characters like Krillin and Roshi. Characters like Krillin and Roshi, but I would much rather see a series centered around these characters. You had I like all the episodes, with my favorite and best episodes being the very first episode, The Warriors of the Dead, where Goku, as a reward for his services, for him constantly saving the Earth multiple times, gets to meet the other Warriors of the Dead and compete in a tournament, with the winner getting a private lesson from Grand Kai himself. He meets Paikon Olibu. Paikon, a Piccolo style of character, and Olibu, a Hercules, Thor, He-Man style of He-Man style, and Conan the Barbarian style of character. These are the three coolest, and several other heroes, including there's a cameo of a guy who looks just like Ryu from the Street Fighter franchise. The Street Fighter franchise, and then they get the stress from Grand Kai that Cell, Frieza, and the Demon Force are causing trouble and wreaking havoc in hell. Paikon and Goku team up with Paikon and Goku easily with his full power, with his false Super Saiyan form, easily taking out the Demon Force, taking out all members of the Demon Force simultaneously, and Paikon knocking out Cell, Frieza, and King Cole with ease and ends, with all of them being sent back to jail. Then followed by the next episodes, the tournament episodes, the Goku versus Paikon finals season finale, and the Paikon versus Olibu fights were my all-time favorite fights and episodes from this series. Those three episodes followed by every other fight series. Lots of exciting and funny moments, including the speed episode, including the speedster hero who was fighting the bug guy who looks like Cell, another character I enjoyed. The bug guy who looks like Cell. He ran towards him. It was nearly about to beat him, but then he said, "Oh, I'm tired," and he gave up, and then the Cell character fell over, and so did everyone else. Then Goku's fight with the Caterpillar guy, where the Caterpillar morphs into his new form, and then he says, "How long will that take?" And the guy says, "Oh, about 1,200 years." They don't have time to wait that long, so Goku wins by their fall. And Paikon brutally beats down the bug guy off screen to the point he has to be stretched out. And Goku fights the water guy, Aqua. I think that's his name, Aqua. He also fights a dinosaur and a dinosaur-looking guy. So yeah, like I said, an awesome saga. Such none of these characters were present in the Cell saga. They just made cameos, Tiny, Kid Buu. But yeah, this was my short-lived review of what to do. This was also one of the first sagas, since I didn't mention any other saga. This was one of the first sagas to feature the new theme you heard in the background, the Dragon Ball Z. This started with the Android saga, the Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, this was the quote unquote this was my all-time favorite saga from the Toriyama era, one of my all-time favorite sagas, alongside the Baby, Omega Shinran, Brawly the Legendary Super Saiyan movie, Super Brawly the movie, probably the only really good canon saga of the Toriyama era. That made Brawly canon. And last but not least, the live-action Dragon Ball Evolution movie with the other live-action movie from the 80s, The Magic Begins, being honorable mentions. So with that being said, I'm finished for now. This is technically the last one, but the Buu sagas will be next. The Buu saga will be after this. So with that being said, I'm done. Hey everyone, it's time for the final part of my Dragon Ball Z Ocean Dub Webcam review series, season review series, review, and rant. And this time, as you can see by the title above, it's the final arc. The Buu Saga. The Buu Saga. The Buu Saga. Even with, sorry about that, even with the Ocean Dub's superior acting and soundtrack, the Majin Buu Saga still sucks and is still the worst saga period, not just the worst Dragon Ball Z saga. And like I've said in plenty of videos, it was this atrocious sagas and the sagas that followed it, the series that followed it, Super and Resurrection F, which completely killed Dragon Ball Z for me. Super Brawly recently brought me back, because they brought Brawly, the coolest character in the franchise, into the main canon. But that's another video for another day. Right now, Dragon Ball Z Ocean Dub. Dragon Ball Z Ocean Dub. The episode that will be playing in the background, the episode where Krillin and Piccolo get turned to stone, and Vegeta, Gohan, Goku, and Supreme Kai enter the spaceship. So with that being said, let's get started right now. Of course, the Ocean Dub. I discovered the Buu Saga Ocean Dub in. My first introduction was actually in 2008, but because of how weird the characters sound, I thought it was some kind of fan dub. It was some kind of fan dub. So I rediscovered it 4 years later when a YouTube channel called DBZ Ocean Dub Studios, which this guy now has a new channel named Anthony Connor, when him and various people started uploading Ocean Dub footage. Footage of the Cell and Buu Saga. I couldn't believe that there was. I rediscovered it. Couldn't believe that there was an Ocean Dub for the Cell and Buu Sagas. I had no idea they did the Cell and Buu based sagas, and
if he frees Majin Buu, he will
Cell and Buu based sagas, and this Ocean Dub, well, it makes the worst moments in this saga. It makes the worst moments in this saga more tolerable. The first, one of the highlights, of course, is one of the worst moments in the Buu Saga was Majin Vegeta's speech to Goku. I hated Saga's version because not only the script not match what was on screen, but also Christopher Saga Vegeta just sucks. Brian Drummond, he kills it, and even though you hate the scene and hate what he is saying, you can feel the emotion, you can feel what he's saying. And then they had the music in the background to make it even more badass. The Mega Man music, just like the Cell Saga, this particular dub reuses music from the Mega Man cartoon, and I think also the Monster Rancher anime cartoon, which I've actually haven't seen yet. Definitely want to watch that in the future because of the BBC Ocean Dub. Well, anyway,
I think we can manage to get around that little problem.
Yeah, all of the cast from the Cell Saga, for the most part, return here. You now have the late Kirby Morrow portraying Goku, portraying Goku. Brian Drummond is still Vegeta. Scott McNeil is still Piccolo. He's also Namora in this arc. Terry Clayson, I think that's his name, is still Krillin. Yamcha's voice actor is still the same, and my boy Matt Smith is still Tia Shinhan. Brian Drummond and Michael Dobson, who voiced Vegeta and Nappa, the Saiyan Saga, they act and voice as a similar duo here in Yamura Spokovich. You have the more serious You have the more serious and much more intelligent Yamu with the bigger dim-witted brutish man Spokovich, who represents the Napa, portrayed by Michael Dobson. Dobson. That's another thing I thought that was pretty cool. Only voice I don't like here, of course, is Hercule Satan. This is the only thing that was better about the Funimation version. The Funimation version of Hercule Satan sounds way better. This version right here is absolutely it's not terrible, but it's annoying to listen to. It's way too funny, way too comical. And it's even worse in this series because in this series, Hercule is the main character. Hercule, he helped ruin the previous arc, the Cell Saga, and he ruins this arc because not only is he featured more here, but he's the last surviving human, and he's one of the main characters, the main heroes who saves the day in the end, which I'm gonna get to that. But other great moments were the fusion moments, the army awakening theme that plays in the background, during the Gotenks moment and the Vegito moment later. The Ocean Dub makes the atrocious Blue Saga much more tolerable. But to tell you the truth, even with Ocean Dub's great acting and great soundtrack, they are just sound at Ocean Dub. They are a sound creation and editing studio. They are not the writers and animators on the show. This is still Akira Toriyama's atrocious script. And the reason I hate the Blue Saga is still in this version. It's still in this version. It's in every version of Majin. So it doesn't matter how many times you redub it, how many times you rewrite it. It is the same shitty, terrible storyline where the characters Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Supreme Kai. Well, Goku and Vegeta and Supreme Kai, especially in the Z Fighters, unleash Majin Buu, knowingly unleash Majin Buu, and fail to stop him. The illusion causing total Armageddon, total annihilation, and later total Armageddon, and having the audacity to misuse and spam the Namekian Dragon Balls, to restore and set everything right again. Once again, over-reliance on the Dragon Balls and the worst Dragon Ball spam job period. Some detractors might say, well, what saga did they not misuse the Dragon Balls? I didn't like any wish that was made with the Dragon Balls, but at least all those wishes in the previous sagas had to be made, and they saved the world and a good number of people first, and resurrected everyone who unfortunately died in the conflict. Here they allowed everything to be destroyed, allowed everyone to be killed, knowing, oh, we could bring each of them on. We could do some crappy do-over spell and bring everyone back. I hated that so much. I began cheering for the bad guy, Majin Buu. I always cheer for Majin Buu unless he's fighting Gohan, Tien, and the Fusion Kids, particularly Vegito. I started cheering for Gotenks, but Gotenks was so stupid, cocky, and arrogant, and Majin Buu was just so much more intelligent and so much more badass. I began cheering for Majin Buu. And this is the worst saga ever. The other sagas preceding this were bad too, but at least those sagas had a much better climax. The characters won with their own power. They used a spirit bomb powered by the people. It was Goku's spirit bomb, but it was powered by the people. And they also used the Dragon Ball's power to resurrect those people. The characters it was mostly their own power in the final climaxes. Number two, they had a better cast of characters. They had a better cast and team of characters, even though those seasons sucked too. This had the worst cast and the worst team of characters. Then all the good characters like Gohan, the fusion characters, and Videl and Tina Shinhan. By the time the series is over, we get to the Kid Buu saga, the first half of the Kid Buu saga. All those characters there, leaving us with a burnt out Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Vegeta, a weak ass Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, Hercule, the fat Majin Buu, that team and Supreme Kai. This team was so lame. I started cheering for Kid Buu. Kid Buu was an awesome villain, but he was uninspired. And had no real motivation or purpose to be in the series other than to kill, destroy, and provide a final opponent for the final opponent of the Z Fighters. His whole saga was nothing but one gigantic video game boss battle. But you know what? The heroic characters that we're supposed to like Goku and them, all those characters suck more. Yeah, but everyone knows how much the Majin Buu saga sucks. It's the Vegeta stuff people constantly try to, the Vegeta development constantly try to praise. I already told you how much that sucked. From the moment, and it was predictable. From the moment Spokovich started beating on Videl and Vegeta pretended to care, that's when Vegeta put his plan into motion, and when you know Vegeta was a bad guy. Since when does Vegeta? This is not even good guy Vegeta. So if anyone wants to come out there and say, well, Vegeta changed, this is not even good guy Vegeta. Since when does Vegeta care about Hercule or Hercule's family? When does Vegeta care about his daughter? Then I could see if he was a silent villain, but no, Vegeta's a loudmouth character. He was voicing his opinions and his intentions throughout the entire time. That was to fight Goku. Not go off and go fight these other weirdos he doesn't care about, and has nothing to do with this fight. So that should have told you right there that he was still evil. We're supposed to actually believe that after just 3 seasons, Vegeta's all of a sudden a good guy now. And we're supposed to be shocked that the guy who killed Napa, the guy who tried to kill Goku, Gohan, Krillin, the guy who had each of the Z Fighters wiped out and killed in the first half of the Z Fighters wiped out and killed in the Saiyan Sagas. The guy who killed and busted up an innocent Namekian village. The guy who killed multiple people during his fight with the androids. And last but not least, the guy who allowed Cell to achieve his perfect form to serve his pride. This guy is, of course, evil. He was the Majin. It was supposed to be a shocker that he was the Majin. Then you have the characters after all those previous acts. Now, I guess Goku, Gohan have to trust Vegeta because they're Saiyans. However, Krillin, Piccolo, and the Supreme Kai especially, Supreme Kai and Kibito, who are gods, who are supposed to be all-knowing, have no reason to trust Vegeta. They should have known Vegeta would betray them. The next plot hole. The next worst character. Krillin. In the Cell and Buu saga was Krillin at his worst. When people say, why do people hate Krillin? Look at Krillin in this saga and in the Cell saga. He sucked in the Cell saga too. The only reason he was in the Cell saga was to resolve his incredibly lame backstory of getting a girlfriend. That was his purpose there. He didn't do anything in the Cell saga. His fight with Cell was filler. And here he didn't do squat. Except get his family killed by first off hiding from Majin Buu on the lookout. Now I can understand hiding from Majin Buu, but hide in the city like everybody else. Get a submarine and go underwater like in Trunks' time, like in Trunks' future time, or hide at Capsule Corp. Pretty much hide anywhere in the city, anywhere on Earth. Do not hide on the secret lookout. And these guys, while Majin Buu is wreaking havoc on Earth, these guys were eating, playing cards, and just socializing while the universe is facing the terror of Majin Buu. If you're going to be on the lookout, they were on the lookout doing all these activities instead of doing, they were the lookout, a place for overseeing the war and training what's his name? If you're gonna be on the lookout, get your ass in the bust some time in that hyperbolic time chamber. Hyperbolic time chamber. Hyperbolic time chamber. But no, they were up here they were up here they were quote unquote up here they were up here what's his name? At first I hated them being killed, then I liked them being killed. Here's the other part I hated. Krillin, Chi-Chi, Bulma, Roshi, those characters, and Oxkey, those characters deserve to be killed, but you have to get the good characters like Yamcha, Android 18, even Baron, your own kid. You have to get those characters killed. Then he comes up with a plan to attack Majin Buu one-on-one while each of them escape, even though Majin Buu is stronger than all of you. So instead of fighting you as a team, you're not going to get out alive. There is no version of that when you come out alive. Version you come out alive. No, Krillin decides to charge Majin Buu on his own, and all Majin Buu had to do was sidestep him and then just go kill everyone else, which is what he technically did. Only he not only sidestepped, but he owned them by turning them into chocolate. And that's their deaths. We knew they were going to die, but have them go out in a way that's respectful characters of their purpose. No, they got the chocolate blast. I have no favorite moments, I have no favorite episodes. I have moments. The Gohan story and development, his entire story and development is the only thing good in this saga. His entire story, development, and fights are the only things good. The fusion characters and fights, Tien Shinhan's development and hero moment against Buu, which didn't mean a damn thing because Majin Buu later killed him and everyone else when he blew up the earth. The Super and Kid Buu forms of Majin Buu. The Super and Kid Buu forms of Majin Buu. These were the highlights. And the Otherworld Tournament saga preceding it were the only highlights to the filler Otherworld Tournament saga preceding were the only highlights to this atrocious saga here besides the Ocean Dog. And even the Funimation version, which was terrible. It wasn't terrible acting, it was just childish, but most of their actors were pretty good, especially the actors for the villains. So yeah, this was my review and rant on the final Ocean Dub saga. If you want to hear the rest of the music, turn the video off right now.
Master Bobbity told me to be very careful.